Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I think, on the Series JG. And, we got the boss fight coming up. Survival Sword's my jam, but I might switch to the blunderbuss, because I made a point of getting my gunman scarf and cowboy hat and infinite round, they're not infinite rounds, using infinite rounds when I realized. The thing that had not occurred to me, I was like, I'm going to play gun styles next video. And it had not occurred to me that it was going to drive me nuts to waste ammo that costs resources every time I shot a candle. So, for now, we're all gussied up in our cowboy grill. I'm going to be a cowgirl, baby. Let's talk to this fellow.
Is there something I can help you with, human?
He looks really familiar.
That aura about you. You're a vampire.
I guess you could call it an aura, and that he's dressed like a vampire, has like ashen skin, and I don't know.
And what of it? Will you murder me for that alone? I've picked no quarrel with you.
Well, I've certainly murdered for less. Those floaty spirit ladies will bless you if you don't murder them immediately, and I got a crystal from it anyway.
My name is Orlok Dracul, but you may call me O.D. I oversee this library, Miss...
So O.D. has to be some kind of inside joke I'm not aware of. Either that or it's Garfield's friend, or frenemy. It could be the various boss permutations of the evil overlord in Live Alive. We're going to be original Dracula, O.D.
Miriam, am I permitted to take out books from this library of yours?
No, knowledge for girls is a bad idea.
Of course, Miriam. Although you would be my first human patron. The books here are magical tomes that impart power to their readers.
Well, what other patrons do you have? Like, most of the demons we've come across don't seem literate.
As long as you are here, why not avail yourself of their boons?
I like boons. Lending limit 1, and you can increase that over time for whatever reason. A book imbued with... Okay, so I can increase my strength, intelligence, constitution, mind, luck, resistance to ice, resistance to fire, resistance to thunder, resistance to darkness, resistance to light, resistance to petrification, resistance to poisons, resistance to curse, standard attack speed, power of familiars, shards stronger. Oh, directional shards. I feel like over-leveling has really affected my constitution somehow. See, there are some poison-causing enemies around. They're annoying. Let's do with poison. It's probably not the most useful, but it's something. And I don't feel like really getting even more overpowered right now.
Be certain to return what you borrow. This is a library, not a bookshop.
Okay. And similar to Symphony of the Night, there is a little trick later on where you see he's underneath a hole with a movement tech we don't currently have. You can get underneath him and bump into him like you could that one weird shopkeep dude. One weird shopkeep. Here's one weird trick for being a shopkeep. Yeah, there's a movement tech we don't have, which will allow us to shoot up there, and it just results in a goofy little scene. I know I didn't save, but oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do... Oh, I actually didn't mean to use this. So this thing's gimmick is that it kind of like...
Take this.
I want to do the acid spray, and I forget what button that is now. Yeah, its thing is like it knocks you around. It's not doing that much damage, but honestly, the issues here is I'm trying to remember how acid spray works. And it's not... Do I not have it on? Acid jets. How do you do this one then? The directional ones. I can't suddenly remember it at all. Ah, so silly. Really feel bad about this, but R2. Okay. R2. Yeah, that's just like... That thing's a complete boss wrecker at this point.
Gotcha.
The poison doesn't even matter. It's the constant damage. Right in the bearded guy. Double jump allows you to jump a second time while in midair. Now this is obviously going to open up quite a bit. We got a feather crown, which IGN described as a powerful feather crown. And that was the last thing I read on the IGN site before I was done. Feather crown. It gives you... Well, it does actually give you some decent stat boosts. Everything I've got now plus mine plus 3. But, you know what? Yeah, because I think I'm going to move away from the gun now. But I can keep the gun and scarf. What the hell? So yeah, that was a bit of a non-starter boss fight. Like, the biggest hassle of that enemy is that it knocks you around, and I spent most of the fight trying to figure out how to get the directional shard to work, because acid spray against enemies that don't like constantly move around and get away from you, acid spray is a monster at this point. I know I'm over leveled, but I don't know that I'm doing more damage per second with acid spray. I just think the fact that I leveled it up so much, because I remember it being good and I like the idea of poisoning enemies, but in the boss fight so far, it hasn't even had a chance to take effect, the poisoning part. It's just wrecking enemies immediately because it does so much damage with the damage per second deal. Probably while we're... I mean, I could teleport somewhere else. You know what? I'm gonna teleport way back, because there's a lot of little places double jump can get you stuff that you couldn't get before, and I don't remember what all of them are. But I know that some of them are all the way back in that boat, which is still an accessible dungeon, even though in theory we were... You know, you'd think they would just close that off, like the ship would leave, but I mean, the crew was killed. Somehow we got to the shore, even though... Like, I guess the demons attacked as soon as it reached shore. But, double jump shouldn't really do any plot stuff as far as people suddenly having new dialogue. Zanratsu Ken, dude. Zanamoto, zibbity boo, zibbity boo. Mr. Z is probably not going to show up, and we probably won't be interrupting dialogue between him and Boob Lady. And then having more exciting dialogue appear.
Can you plant this?
Sure.
Can you plant this right up at Keisha? I don't know why I keep thinking that joke's worth repeating, but I do. Oh. I didn't equip the sword I meant to. I mean, it's still far more than powerful enough to deal with these enemies, but Bloodbringer. Oh! This is my familiar in sword form. Bloodbringer's back in Pog form. Spiral Sword is what I wanted. This actually does a lot more damage per hit than Spiral Sword. The Spiral Sword just gets multiple hits. This might be using, of course, if I'm going to... Oh, see, and I got different views of our hero. I'm going to go back to Deathcry. I really like that. Yeah, I'll stick with craft work and regular old sword expertise. But yeah, you saw it. Some kind of attack there just was completely blocked because it was a slash type, and I now have a passive resistance against slash type attacks. You get all the passive shards in this game. I don't know how many different difficulty levels there are. I could be trying, but you get real hard for the enemies to damage if you really take your time, because you want to like get all the passives boosts you can get. You can get like really hard for them to hurt. At this point, it doesn't matter. I mean, even if I wasn't over leveled for the point in the game we're at, I'd still be like crushing everything around here. So I don't feel too bad about one-hitting everything down here. And even one-hitting stuff doesn't bother me as much as when an enemy like straight up hits me, I made no effort to dodge, and I take like 1 damage. That always makes me feel bad. Either we can just barely make that jump and I'm missing it, or we actually do need another movement tech for that. That's disappointing. I thought coming back with double jump would give us everything that there is here, and I might be wrong. Yep, I think I missed that by enough that it probably is a different movement tech we need for that. Oh well. Yeah, we'll have a little bit of meandering exploration for now, folks, while I try to figure out what all we can get with a new double jump. As far as where to take it next in the game, I didn't read this on the IGN walkthrough, but I'm pretty sure where we would be going next is back to the tower. I know we've hit. It takes some plot stuff before you can advance in that area that has like it looked like a subway station. But the dialogue that leads us on the quest to get the items we need to go further, I don't think it popped when we talked to, we got to talk to Dominique. I keep calling her Boob Lady. Dominique will have some insight into that. But she didn't seem to have said anything about it before. Oh, I have a little back stroke on this. I didn't realize because I thought I was like, oh, I turned the wrong way to face that enemy, and he died anyway. Okay. This is the other place I specifically remembered that there was another thing we could get, but this movement tech isn't going to be enough for it either. Could be coming back to the boat was a complete waste. It's always getting that one chest that has one of each type of seed. Saves you buying them from Dominique. I've come off screen to just get that chest before, just when I was running out of seeds to give to Farmer What's His Face. Presumably, if I missed any secrets here, the fairy will tell me, just like walls I didn't chop. So you never know, you might get something out of backtracking as long as the fairy is with you to point out any stuff you missed. But she has a habit of not saying anything unless our nose is already parked right in it for like several seconds, like we're thinking about chopping it. These guys do not drop the gunmanship expertise. They are a different, earlier version of that same enemy. Which is a shame, because this would have been a great place to grind for that if these were the ones. Phone is ringing. I have no idea why anyone would be calling me this time of day, so I'm going to let it ring. Always a little worried, though, because it could be the doctor's office. Not that they'd be telling me anything like, you're going to die in the next 10 minutes, but, like, they might be setting up an appointment that I actually need to set up. I say that, and, like, 9 times out of 10, it's a spammer, so. This video, we chatted with a bookkeeper, with a librarian, and we beat a boss, and I'm still feeling like, is this video a complete waste if I spend all of it looking for places to use double jump in the first area and find out all the secrets in the first area I know we missed involve the next or even one after that movement technique, and the double jump is not going to help us at all. Double jump makes everything better. It's clearing areas that you can clear without double jump just becomes more convenient with double jump. Yet you don't have to be anywhere near as careful with the timing of your jumps. You got 2 jumps worth of being able to clear a jump you don't need 2 jumps for. It just means you can be a little bit looser. But I thought it was literally going to lead us to stuff we couldn't get before, and I'm starting to fear that that was a mistake. But there's one last place to check. The problem is there's no good shortcuts on the ship. Certainly there's no shortcut to get to Amaranth, and there's no real easy ways to like skip right from the beginning to the end without clearing the guts of the level. So if I get all the way back there and there's nothing, it's going to feel like a long trip back. Hopefully Jack Source isn't watching this. I'm pretty sure Jack Source isn't watching this. I wanted to go back and check on the Aqua Blastia core, so I decided to go all the way back to the first area. Now this might be... Oh, it doesn't even look like there was something there. I just hadn't jumped far enough to clear the map. Those guys at Dollar's drop actually fairly good. Like they were dropping like fruits, recipe ingredients. It was handy. I guess I managed to get up here before with just a perfectly timed single jump. Because there's... Oh. HP max, HP max. Knocked out rotten wood for an HP max. Hey, I think there might have been a secret over there. Thanks, Caraboose. You're the best. I mean, thanks, Caraboose. You're the best. Best at being a whore. Sorry. Well, I am the best at that, as a matter of fact, but it's going to be if you say it so disdainfully. There's our last chance coming up that there might have been some purpose to all this. Other than, I guess, I got an HP max that I didn't realize was there, so that's... And it looks like a double jump is enough to get to this new zone, so hopefully there's something good in here. There is a teleport back in here! That is... I'm probably happier with that than just about anything else we could have found. Well, that was interesting. It had an icon for me to press... Oh, this is for this chair. So I could have sat and looked at that picture. Possibly before it got hostile. Capacity max, capacity max. No wonder I couldn't make as many as I thought. There is capacity max. Culverin. So I didn't bother to respond to his comment in the comments, but Ald's an interesting dude. He knows a lot of stuff about subjects I don't really care about. Like, I have an interest in, like, fantasy and stuff, but not, like, getting into the real historical. Well, this was a Nordic weapon, and that weapon name from fantasy games refers to Celtic mythology. Like, Ald's got all that shit on lock. And anytime I'm tempted to be like, wow, that's kind of nerdy to know that, then I remember there are people who, like, memorize sports statistics, and they are equally as not important to know about in the real world. Oh, I forgot. I switched to it, and I've got the AP ammo. So let's go back to the Deadly Sword. Actually, it might be fun to use a whip for a while, but I don't have... The thing is, I want to use a whip because... Not just because, oh, like, sexy girl on a whip, but, like, because it's Castlevania. But not only is the whip not great, I don't have... the passives for whips show up way later in the game. Let's do a little variety. Let's use something else. I got dagger, firearm, greatsword, katana. Let's use a katana for a little while. Use a dagger later. I got the poison kukri, which I went to some trouble to set up. Let's use Surumuru. Yeah, it just has a really odd strike. I feel like I should be able to sit in the chair before it moves, and something might happen. Honestly, it sounds silly, but I'm just tickled that we did find a teleport for this zone. Okay. Well, maybe if I was more patient, sat for a little longer. If I was here at the end of it, if this was the end of a video, I would just sit here between videos staring at this thing to see if something eventually happens. But, no, don't have the patience. Well, there's no particular reason to go back to Arvantville. Although, honestly, if I'm just going to kind of go through old zones looking for places the double jump could get us that we couldn't get before, I guess you're kind of doing a full sweep, aren't you? I could zone in on places where I know it's useful, and I don't specifically know where it's useful, except I'm pretty sure the next place we're supposed to be able to clear is the Twin Towers. We've gotten to the top of the Big Boss Man, but Akeem the African Dream is still more or less closed off to us, but with the double jump we should be able to make that happen. I mean, I could have gone with jokes about the two towers from Lord of the Rings, but hey, I don't remember. I know one of them's the White Tower, and it had another elfin-y type name, and I don't remember what the other one was called at all. And I just figured Boss Man and Akeem, because they're not the two towers, it's the Twin Towers. So come on, get it right, folks. You gotta get that right. Thanks that I took some Pepsid before I ate that big-ass meal. I was even able to lie down afterwards and have a food coma nap without triggering heartburn. So that's just the wonderful life I live now. Preloading with Pepsid because it's an infusion weekend. I know for a fact my stomach's going to be acting nutty. But, managed to get away with a fucking double serving of pasta. Okay, so the katana kind of sucks for these guys because it doesn't have the range. Got a lot better speed than the big-ass greatswords I've been using, though. There might be techniques with the katana that make it... Like, that stab, it doesn't even feel like a katana to me. It feels like it's just a rapier. Try to avoid killing him, because he's actually worth a lot of experience. Well, here's someplace the double sword's already gotten us. Rapier, Stinger, Kaziki. So, there is a weapon called the Rapier. It's just a different class. Little enemies with a blur of thrust too fast to count. And this does not count as... Even though it feels to me like it works like a Rapier, it doesn't count. What weapons did they say? It's really annoying to me that like it's not just any weapon in that class can use this. Rapier, Stinger, Kazikili. Not just any weapon in that class. Only those three. So you could find Rapier, Stinger, Kazikili. I can't even figure out which class that is. But it does seem like even if you found... Like you find a better one and you can't... But now you can't use that technique anymore. It seems annoying. I don't really... like the way techniques work in this game. It also really bothers me to use MP. Because then it's like, you use that thing and suddenly, A, you're not getting any money from crystals anymore, from candles anymore, because they always go to getting back the MP you use with these techniques. And B, it's MP. Shouldn't you be using that for the magic attacks your character has? Anyway, we got a little something from there, but clearly there's more to be gotten with later movement techs up there. Buddy, I will kill you if you keep getting in the way. I was trying to avoid it to avoid getting excess experience. But there's something... Nope, it's a level up. I mean, a level above. So, we've gotten higher up in this area, but there's higher left to go. Well, see, I guarded against that. Apparently it was a strike attack, that bone. We have to do something with getting a screen below this later, but...
Take this.
What are you shooting at? There's nothing over there. And a crystal I didn't need. There's always something really annoying about getting the crystal drop when you've already got 9, because suddenly, after having been trying to get them for forever, they're useless to you. Spin toward your enemies and transfer the momentum to your blade. Well, I mean, that might be fun, but I'm kind of doing the katana thing now. But yeah, this fountain of blood. Make a fountain of blood. I don't believe. Eventually, we need to do something with this, but I don't remember what brings that up. There's a boss. There's a boss we gotta fight. For some reason, I thought we fought it in the room with the fountain of blood, but we don't. We fight it in that room, and then the fountain of blood becomes useful. And I have no recollection of when this boss is coming, how long it's going to be. I didn't remember anything about the boss we beat earlier in this video, in fact. I think even without acid spray, game-breaking, leveling, that boss does not seem to have given me much trouble before, because I don't have a memory of it. And actually, one of the few bosses in this game I do remember really clearly as having been a sticking point for a bit is, they're a ways off, but Acid Jet ain't gonna work. Because that enemy is, like, always running away from you and hitting you with ranged. The whole trick is that it's difficult to get any damage in. It's an interesting arena, too. But we got a ways before we get to that fight, so... Well, avoiding you is going to be a huge pain in the ass. Let's just take you out. Get your crystal, which I don't need anymore, but at one point was really valuable to me. Those guys dropped the sword expertise crystal, which actually also leads to great sword, and I think katana as well. You killed me, what a bitch. Yeah, this is a screen where I think there was something we might be able to reach now we couldn't before. Yeah. HP max. Or is that MP max? MP max. That's the closest thing we've got in this game to hard max. So a minor prize, but a prize nonetheless. Come back to this room with the... Oh no, the blood moon is gone. Interesting. I thought that was a screen that had the big crazy blood moon. That might be coming up later in this same path. It really feels like there should be something through this in this little gap here. Oh, that wasn't a good idea. No, well. I was trying to... Well, this will be some... Fight our way back there now, but... Love this little animation. It's like working its little piggy legs, trying to fly a little bit farther before it drops on you. Path to the bottom right is not going to be opened up by anything that we've done recently, so I'm not going to bother to go back there. Bottom left, I should say. Little fairy wings getting us double jump.
Take this.
She was going to kill it for me. I just preempted her. Ow. 1 damage, so I don't know why I'm going ow, but looks like it hurts though. Try not to refight through too much stuff. There we go. That is where I wanted to land. I don't know if we can get back up or if I just forced us to backtrack again. But there should be something over here. It's weirding me out to have this little spot. But we kind of looked at it from all sides and I can't seem to get in there, so maybe it really is just empty. Now I think by coming down here and getting those chests, well, that certainly didn't help, but yeah. Gonna have to go around the loop one more time. So as much as we got done early in this video, the second half has just been kind of meandering, looking for little goodies we can pick up that we couldn't get before. It might be a more efficient Let's Play if I just did that once after I'd gotten like 3 or 4 movement techs. Really be pretty sure that whatever we missed is going to be available to us. Because it's going to be it's mostly going to be little things like heart max and HP max. But I find these little revisits vaguely enjoyable. Hope you do too. And if not, well, maybe read the next video description before deciding whether or not to watch. Take a pass. Rejoin us when we're ready to advance into the Twin Towers of Big Boss Man and Akeem the African Dream. See you then, guys.